This is Night Owls on Greatest Hits Radio.
You never know who's going to call next.
0191 488 3188.
Greatest Hits Radio.
You are with the big one, and we've been asking you the question, what is the ugliest, nastiest, gnarliest thing that you've ever come across? And Ben Malone says, the ugliest thing I've ever seen is my ex. Oh, dear, dear, dear. You'll pay for it. It's a karma thing. And he says it's when people leave their dog mess on the road or on the path, any of that. I tell you, it's really ugly when you see that there's some, and it's always probably just one person who walks their dog a certain way every day. They'll pick up the poo, they'll put it in the plastic bag, but instead of taking it home or putting it in a bin, they'll just lob it at a tree, which looks like, it's like a poo tree, because they've done it every week for the last month. Dirty mingers, they are. Absolutely. Got a lot of little bonus prizes that you could win, because I want to help you out for Christmas, because every time you guys win something, if you like the prize, well, it's yours. If you don't, it's a present. And then you can use the money that you would have spent on the present on you or your family. Everybody wins. Got some great stuff as well. And don't forget our top prize tonight. You know, I give you 4 clues for our big competition. Instead of just getting a mug, a Night Owl's mug, which is very, very nice indeed, but this time you will get movie memorabilia from the brand new Jumanji film with Dwayne Johnson and Jack Black and all the rest of the guys. Their last film was amazing. I thought it was hilarious, laugh-out-loud stuff. Got a whole batch of that. However, let's get across and talk to Sharon, who is in Heaton. Hello, Sharon.
Hello, Alan. Hiya.
Hello, darling. What you got for us tonight then, Shar?
Yeah, I want to talk about my blog and vlog.
Blog and vlog? It does sound like 2 children's TV characters, but tell us about your vlog and blog.
Yeah, it's called Races Around the World.
Right.
And it's one woman's humorous adventures with her mother in tow.
Right. So give us the premise. When did this all begin?
It started last summer.
Right.
Because my mum and me had gone down to York and done a few days trips around sort of Manchester, Liverpool, York.
Right.
And then it occurred to me, why did we not make this a regular thing, regular trips, go on little jaunts, adventures, and I could blog about it. And then we've introduced humorous vlogs as well, all about our adventures.
It sounds, fun, because you're actually going there, well, just for a trip out, really, but you've turned it into a proper adventure now, and presumably, if you've added video footage, vlogs, therefore you're setting things up and doing your own, hi, here I am at the Minster, and this building was built in, and doing
absolutely
all of that.
Yep.
Fantastic.
That's the way it works, indeed. You've got it right on the button there.
Oh, it's great fun, but you see, and I know a lot of people do this kind of thing, and the only reason that I discovered this kind of business is somebody sent me their, I suppose it was a vlog. It's hard to tell because there's MPEGs, and if you get into the minutiae of it all, there's a lot of different forms. But essentially, a little film of them visiting Disneyland Paris. And it was I'm getting off the bus. This is the first thing you see. Then you see the outside of the park thing. We've got to go in here. We've got our tickets already, so we don't need to go to the box office. And they walked us. And I found myself after about... You've got to remember, I don't know who these people are. But they've listened to the show. So they're night owls, which therefore makes them very important. And I sat down and started to watch it, thinking, well, I'll give it 5 minutes, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it lasted in total... about 55 minutes, which is a chunk. And it was, I mean, they'd go on a ride with it, and you'd see them on the ride, and that was a lot of fun. Then they'd get off the ride and say, we're going to go for a burger now. And they're chatting, having a burger, the kind of things you would say when your belly's not quite right because you've just been on a ride, but you want to eat some food. So you had that kind of fun thing that you would have talked about if you'd have been there. And I felt I was one of them. By the time they'd finished, I knew the names of their parents, I knew what they did for a living, because they tell you, it's a vlog and it tells you everything, and it really pulls you into somebody else. Because it's been donkey's years since I was lucky enough to get, and it was for work. I went to the Disneyland Paris park thing, and it's changed completely over the years. And to see what they've done, great fun.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because you can do it. You can do it on your doorstep. You go go down the coast, go into the city for heaven's sake. There's tons of stuff there.
Exactly, because our latest one will be about the Newcastle Christmas market. So that's a good tie-in. And you mentioned Paris. We were in Paris and Versailles at the beginning of around the Easter time.
Right.
So we've got vlogs on that. Over the summer, we found out that Doc Martin, the ITV show, was going to be filming in Port Isaac in North Cornwall.
Right.
So we planned a trip around it on the hope of catching them filming. And lo and behold, there were our first day there filming.
Fantastic. Did you get an interview?
I didn't, because the runners were keeping people away from them. But I got plenty of footage, so that's on a blog. Brilliant. And uninterrupted shots with of Martin Clunes acting and Caroline Katz, who plays his wife, acting. So with nobody in the way, so that was canny cool.
But that's brilliant, and it's also something that nobody else would have. And you discovered that they were going to be there that particular week, and made a point of you being there. I mean, that's commitment, because getting to Cornwall's no little thing. I mean, it's a hell of a way.
No,
it's as far as you can go without falling off the end, pretty much.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, fortunately, we flew. Fortunately.
Oh wow!
Previously, we went posh this time. You see, Alan.
But when you said you'd been to Versailles, it's been a fair while. I love France anyway, and the last time I went to Versailles, because it's the Palace of the Sun King, should I say? The only thing that really disappointed me, I loved the fountain. You know, with Neptune coming out of the waves with wild horses and stuff. One of the most amazing fountains I've ever seen in my life. But inside, a lot of the mirrors, you know, because he's the Sun King, the shining one, and all the rest of it. A lot of the mirrors had been allowed to get a bit. The mirroring was coming off.
Yeah. I would agree. But I suppose because it's a World Heritage Site, they're not going to.
You can't put a fresh mirror in there.
It. Yeah. And I thought it was interesting that his bedroom led straight off the Hall of Mirrors.
Yes.
That's canny rain, isn't it? Getting up in the morning and walking out into the Hall of Mirrors to look at yourself.
A lot.
But amazing place, though. Absolutely amazing.
It was. It was just, I don't know what my expectations were, but he was like one of the richest people in the world, and it's the guy that sparked the French Revolution and let them eat cake, all that kind of stuff. So when I went there, I really expected it to be and the building was, and the fountains and the gardens certainly were. And then when you get in, and the mirrors look all tatty and nasty, and I just kind of let it. I understand why they've let it be because they're the original mirrors.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, well, that's the original chair. It's full of dry rot. It's starting to smell a bit. But we're gonna leave. They wouldn't have done that if the curtains had been starting to go. Do you know what I mean? They'd have swished them straight away. Maybe he's being a bit too picky here, but you know, I just couldn't believe that. I just couldn't believe they'd left the mirrors to do that. I don't know whether is the mirroring you can put on them. I don't know, but
I've got no idea. I'm not that technically.
No,
minded
me neither.
Mirrors.
Don't think I am for a second. So where can people see this blog then?
Yep. It is called Races Around the World. So go to racesaroundtheworld.co.uk.
Brilliant.
You can read the blogs. There's links to the blogs. So have a watch of the blogs. Leave a comment on the blogs. It's all on our YouTube channel, and subscribe to us. So racesaroundtheworld.co.uk.
Fantastic. Well, I hope a lot of people do. Where's the next challenge going to be?
Yeah, it'll be do you mean a larger trip or just the Newcastle Christmas market?
Well, you're doing the Christmas market. You mentioned that. What's the next big project that you've got down the line? Because you will have one.
the next one, we will be returning to Versailles again.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Take a bit of mirror polish, just for me.
That's like Winderley.
Hey, lovely hearing from you, Sharon. Thanks for coming on.
Brilliant. Thanks, Alan.
Take care, love. Bye-bye. How about that? Love what she's doing. Think it's brilliant. Speaking of brilliant things, already got some pictures that we'll be sending about for you about the fantastic gathering of Vauxhall Vectra Sport Hellhounds. And tonight's Christmas meet, Craig and Peter Lee gathered the North East Ford Vectra Sport Hellhounds, 34 bikes from the Alliance Bikes, Stafford. And we had a load of Ford cars of all different shapes and sizes. We met a lot of those guys. And this is what happened in our car park, probably about 4 hours ago. Now, I've got Craig and John with us. You can probably hear in the echoes. I'm at the very base of the building, the car park, standing next to a vehicle because the Fords and your cars...
Ford Mondeo ST.
And Vectras.
Vectra Sport as well, which is Vectras.
So we've had two groups together gathering for Cash for Kids tonight. I gather the van was chocker. Even Santa appeared.
Yeah, even Santa appeared in the back of an ambulance, pictures to come. And the van...
Why was he in the back of an ambulance? Has he been injured? Will he not make it on the 25th?
Well, it's Santa, isn't he? You know what he's like after too much whiskies.
But it's brilliant. I mean, what got you involved in?
Been a long-serving member of North East Ford, mate, since 2012. Done a few charity runs for local North East charities before. It's something we've not done before, so we thought we'll give it a go. And the turnout we've had tonight was tremendous. Tremendous, I would say, 40-plus cars we've had from North East Ford, mate, tonight.
Fantastic. Fords, Vectras, it started out 4 years ago, Craig. You've been with us that length of time. Introduce us to everybody.
Well, I can't remember this lad. It's Daniel. He's got a Ford Escort.
Right.
Basically, he's got a Focus, I believe. Yeah, Focus ST. I've got the Mondeo ST, which I've come over to the dark side of joining.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were a Vectra last year.
I know.
So was there a transfer fee involved?
I just fancied a change of vehicle, change of looks, so...
Right, okay.
Hence, ST Fords.
You got your family with you as well?
Yeah, I've got Zara here.
Always Zara. And Zara's brought a boyfriend who's pretending he's not here and kind of hating, but he is here. But that's cool. Everyone all set for Christmas, I would imagine, everybody?
Yeah, everybody sorted, yeah.
That is tremendous. Because the difference that it makes to the kids in the North East, and I know it's very easy to say it's just another one of them charity things. You've been close to Cash for Kids for 4 years. You know the difference.
Oh, yeah. The kids are important for Christmas. No kid should go not having a Christmas box on Christmas morning.
And it's one of those things that it's not just children that are from homes that have been broken or children that are sick. It's the ones that absolutely fall through the net as well. It's all the ones that wouldn't get one just purely and simply out of financial reasons.
Definitely, and also people's houses who get burgled, get burnt down, everything. The charity helps absolutely loads of people. It's
funny because right at the closer you get to Christmas, something will happen, and it was floods recently we had in part of the north, and it went through one house, took all the presents, took the tree. So you think, how are you going to replace that in a few days?
Exactly.
Cash for Kids?
Cash for Kids steps in and hey up.
Amazing.
Presents galore. That's what we're here for.
So, I mean, a grand procession. Was there a grand procession in? Because I always love the idea that all of these cars are on the road at the same time.
Yes, there was quite a few of us headed down from Sunderland, North East Ford, and then we just all joined in the Dalton
Meeting
Park.
up with all the T-siders coming back.
I was late turning up. I was one of the last ones there, but yeah, I came up from Teesside after work this afternoon, so...
I know, we're so grateful to all of you. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Have a great Christmas. You deserve it. Karma will bounce on you. And tell me when the wedding is, you two, okay? It's just one of those greatest hits. And yet, whenever it's on Mark Goodyear's Top 10 at 10 hours, I'm always still 2 to 3 years out every darn time. Well, something that's become my battle. To try and get it right 2 days in a row would be a start. Anyway, you were the big one, Alan Robson, and we are looking at everything. Our next caller is Stephanie from Newcastle. Hello, Stephanie.
Hello.
Hello there. What you got for us
me.
tonight? Hello.
You all right, stranger?
I am, thank you. What are you talking about tonight?
Right, most ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, right. Go on then.
your stepdad, he's rotten.
Is it? I hope you didn't realise that guarantees you a worse present than you were going to get.
No, I already know what I'm getting. I'm spoiled rotten, Alan.
All right, then, fair enough. Anything else? What you been up to then, Steph?
Just living my life, basically.
That's a good idea.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm cracking on until we can get
You
a
know what, Alan? I've missed you so much. My nights, I know you hear this all the time, but my nights are not the same.
I don't wait, sit with me. Trust me, I would like it to be
Are you
slightly
going to get
different.
back full time, or is it just a Sunday still?
I'm hoping so. That's what I'm aiming for.
Hope so.
Fingers crossed. Just got to persuade the people that we're working with that we're worth it. That's the main thing. So.
Obviously, you're amazing. I'm sick of looking at you because remember when you sent us your autograph? I was sick of looking at you on the... No, like not being cheeky. I was just sick of looking at you and I thought... I met my mum tonight and she was like, will you ring him? I was like, okay then.
Right. Well, I tell you what, we've got...
I am, just for a catch-up.
Well, we've got some new pictures that we've just had printed up. So if anybody wants a new shot, we'll send one to you as well then, Steph.
Thank you. I'll stick it on my fridge.
Good lass. So we'll do that. But hey, love to the family. We'll hopefully be back as soon as we can. Thank you for coming on, though. Spread the word. Thanks, Stephanie.
I will. Alan, what have you got in the hat, please?
In the hat. We haven't got a hat. We're going to do quick fire competitions. There's going to be one in about 10 to 15 minutes, so get ready for it. Okay?
Okay, then.
Thanks,
you.
love. Bye-bye. Yeah, but we're not going to do the hat again. Because we've got a big prize at the end of the show, and because with the music, it's a slightly different kind of thing. So instead, I brought some cool things. Let's see if you are clever enough. Straightforward. I'm going to tell you the name of a song. The song title is "Every Little Thing Is Magic" by the Police. Okay, so "Every Little Thing Is Magic" by the Police. When you hear that song, if you can answer a quick question, you shall. I shall pick the first that comes through, and if they get it right, they win it. If they don't get it right, I'll keep going until somebody does. Okay? Let's see if you could work it out. It's a very simple question, but every question is. It's just, do you know the answer? That's the thing. Now, Mark's been on and he says, Alan, is it a bit too late for having a Bombay bad boy pot noodle with 4 slices of bread? And I would give it a go, but I love that kind of stuff anyway. He says, I'm 3 months into my new flat, still haven't got the broadband sorted. Every time I check on the various sites, the address isn't coming up. They say it's not registered. And I've been in touch with the landlord. He keeps saying it's been registered. Can someone shed some light on it? Well, somebody's telling porkies. Either they can see it or he hasn't registered it. That's the way that it is. But what can you do? Just keep actually trying and trying and trying. And also, speaking of, the daft game I'm going to be playing in about 10, 15 minutes, on Breakfast with Rossi, we've got an amazing new game that's driving everybody just crackers. It's a greatest hit that you've got to identify. And a lot of people actually thought it was Right on Time, that track that I've just played from Black Box. It isn't. Then a lot of people said, no, it's Running Up That Hill by Kid. But some people said it was Virginia Plain, Roxy Music. Well, there's currently £9,000 up for grabs. And you can join in and hopefully become champion of the exclusive club of the Morning Mouldy Champions and become the 7th inductee into the Winners' Hall of Fame. You can play it tomorrow morning at 7:30 and 8:30 with Rossi on Greatest Hits Radio. £9 not to be sniffed at. Give that a thought. Anyway, let's cut across and we'll get Anonymous from Northumberland on. Hello, Anonymous.
Oh, hello, Alan. It's a long time since I've actually rang your show. I'm so nervous.
Right. What can I do for you?
I'm looking for what to call it. I'm looking for like a heads up on something. I need some help.
What's up?
I'm in a bit of a bad place at the minute. Just everything's just getting all on top of us now. When it's come to the stage where it's making me ill. I was working a while back, but I got laid off.
Right.
Which hasn't helped, and I was in a relationship that ended.
Right.
And where I am now is I just don't really want to be here.
Is it the property that you're in that you don't want to be in, or you don't want to be in the area? Or?
I don't want to be in the area anymore. Basically, I just feel like I need to get out. The longer I'm going to stay here, the worse I'm going to get. I got rushed to hospital. I mean, last week I had like a panic attack.
Jesus, right.
I got rushed to hospital on Friday night with chest pains and pains in my left arm. It turned out it was angina.
Right.
Basically, I just want to get out of here and start afresh. I just want to turn my life around. I've got to do something because the more I'm here, the worse I'm going to get. I know for a fact I'll get even worse.
So what kind of things have you done in the past? What kind of work you done?
I've always done warehousing.
Right.
And I'm registered with quite a few agencies. But the only trouble is with agencies, they just have you when you need it in, and then they just lay you all off. And it's not what I just want to do something that's more permanent, more solid, you know.
Like what? Like what though? What's in your head? What would be your perfect? Oh, hang on. This is what I want to do now. I mean, because to go from one to another, because you got no experience, presumably of the other thing. So what have you got to do to be able to do that thing?
Well, basically, when I've been doing warehousing, because I like working in the warehousing side of things. Right. I've just done like packing, things like that, you know. So I enjoy doing that, you know what I mean? Because you're constantly busy. Right. You haven't got time to stop and out like that, you know.
Yeah.
So basically, that's really all I know what to do.
Right.
You know.
So you see, because what you've got to do is, first of all, if you can't change a situation, all you can do is live with it until you get to a point when you can. Yeah, that's the same for anybody. I live by that, the same as pretty much everybody else. What you can't do anything about, you just got to live with. That's what you do. But if you've got a long-term objective, I mean, do you want to live in a different part of the country? Because you're in Northumberland at the minute.
I've got my heart set on living in Whitley Bay.
Right.
I just want to get away from where I live. I've lived here 7 years.
Right.
And basically, I'm a bit of a loner. I keep myself. It doesn't bother anyone. Nobody bothers me.
Right.
There's only 3 people I know where I live. And let's just say they're ex-girlfriends. And they live all close by. And basically...
that's not great, is it?
It's not. And basically, I just feel like I just want to get away from it all. A fresh start.
Right.
And basically get my life back together again.
Have you looked at what companies are big enough to employ? Presumably all the big supermarkets in Whitley Bay would be at some point looking for somebody like you, surely?
I've looked on sites, sent emails off to companies, CVs off to companies.
Right.
You know, that sort of thing. Rang companies up out of the blue. You know.
I think
I don't
what you should
know
do...
anybody Sorry, Alan?
No, what you should do, though, because I hear that, it's just... I know that from not just from what you guys do, but for what I've been doing since obviously losing a full-time job, you're right off to everybody, and the vast majority of people just don't reply. And even when you ring on the telephone, a lot of the times you put around from pillar to post, and you end up not getting through to the person that could have answered your question. So the thing that I would do one day, and I know it's probably a slog, especially from where you are in Northumberland, but go to Whitley Bay at 9 o'clock one morning.
Yeah.
With a map before you start of the town centre and the couple, there's 2 or 3 trading estates outside, because obviously Whitley Bay is close to Cullercoats and Tynemouth.
Yeah.
And that's all close to North Shields. So you've got that whole area because if you think about it, I'd love to live around Whitley Bay. Well, you could if you had a job in North Shields, or if you had a job in Tynemouth or Cullercoats. So the idea is get to know, even just have a whole day where you're just looking at maps and looking at where, because if you've got access to a computer, and I don't know if you haven't,
I have,
right? So you get on maps, and you focus in on the area where you want to live, and all the companies' names come up. You know, the big companies, and you go, oh, hang on, I'll write to that one. Don't even write to them. Visit them. Go to the door. Who's dealing with your staffing at the minute? Oh, that'll be Billy. Hang on, I'll get him. Because once they've seen you, and make sure you You don't go looking like you got a baggy tracksuit and your dirty trainers. You go looking like you mean business, and you meet these people. And once you've met them, the following day, if it's a company that's shown a spark, any kind of interest in you, the following day you bang them an email saying, "Hey, I popped in yesterday. Was lovely to meet you, Doug, Bob, Bill, Elsie, whoever.
Yeah.
Was lovely to meet you. Please bear me in mind. I'm desperate to get a job, ideally before Christmas. I'd love to work with you guys. Please let me know if anything becomes available." Now, first of all, you've met them. The guy or the woman knows what you like.
Yeah.
They either like you or they don't. If they do like you, and then he's backed it up by saying, "Thank you. What a nice guy. He's got it."
Yeah.
It's just, you can send a letter and you can send texts up the kazoo. They don't mean zip. There's nothing. There's nothing that can get an employer more excited than being there, shaking hands, having a pleasant, nice conversation with somebody who's really keen to work for them. And you do 1 day prep where you've got the maps out and you're looking at everywhere you go, and you'll end up walking for miles. You'll probably even need to get a couple of buses while you're there up to that estate and down to that estate. But hey, you say, Thursday, Friday this week, I'm going to all these places. I'm not coming back until I've got a job. And because that's the kind of attitude you've got to have, because the ones that are super keen and do this kind of thing, they're probably working now.
Yeah.
It's just you can... And I fell into the same kind of trap. I said, well, everybody will come to me because I'm really important. They'll all come to me. They'll all say, "Hey, Alan, you're exactly the one that we need." And it didn't happen. And you think, hell's teeth, why? What's the matter? What's the matter? Because I bet you've done it. You've gone, what's the matter with me that I cannot get fixing?
It's
all coming apart.
And stuff, and nobody gets back to you. So,
well, look at you, because you're feeling ill by it. Because you were laid off, and then your relationship ends, presumably because you got no money to feed the relationship, because relationships usually do need a glass of wine here and a box of chocolates there. I get it. You're starting to get a bit of a panic on. Wait, hey, put all of that into a separate place, because, hey, none of that's going to do you any good. Instead, summon it all up and do something about it.
Yeah, that's why I just want to, I've got my heart set on Whitley Bay. I'd like to get a job in Whitley Bay, and I'd like to move in Whitley Bay, you know what I mean? I don't even know anybody in Whitley Bay or Whitley Bay all that well.
No, but
anybody.
Whitley Bay is a lovely place. It's nice and gentle. It's tidy. There's not too much trouble there. It's got nice parks, lovely beaches, the fun fair.
The only reason why I like the Whitley Bay Force is because I like the ice hockey.
Well, okay, that's a good reason as well. And that could be your new big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I used to go all the time, but I haven't been for a while. But
right.
I'd just like to get away from here and not have new. I just want to.
Wait, do what I suggested. You know what I mean? If in the meanwhile, if there is any companies in or around the Whitley Bay area, that whole coastal bit, and you're running a factory, it's coming up to Christmas. Do you need somebody? This guy's expert in warehousing. He can do the stuff. You can tell he's a decent lad, otherwise he'd just be sitting on his duff, and he's not.
I've even done all the courses. I've completed every single course at the warehouse. It's unbelievable.
Hey, what a bargain you'd be if somebody's listening. And if you work in any of these places yourself, ask the foreman tomorrow on our behalf, and then give us a ring tomorrow, and we'll try and sort that out. Good luck to you, man. I hope you get it.
I appreciate it, Alan. Thanks a lot.
No worries. All the best to you, okay? I just feel really sorry for him, because a full-time job's what everybody should have, including me. We should all have access to a full-time job, especially coming up to Christmas when the bills get a bit more. That's just how it is. We wish him well. 01914 488 188. What are you going to talk about? We've got another bit of very special music coming your way, and lots of calls. I'm talking to Michael in Washington after this.
Call Alan Robson's Night Owls now.
0191 488 3188.
This is real life conversation with the voice of the North.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Now, you're going to have your wits about you tonight, because each hour I'm going to give you one of 4 clues. That's for our big prize tonight, which is a Night Owl's Greatest Hits mug and all of the Jumanji movie memorabilia. Very nice. So that is our top prize tonight, so well worth hanging on to the end of the show for. However, don't forget, when you hear the police singing Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic, if you want to answer one single question on air, if you get it right, you win the prize. If you don't, I'll take the next call out until we get somebody who does. Okay? So remember, you're listening out. Every little thing she does is magic. Get ready for that. Coming your way, just one of our greatest hits here at Christmas time, looking after your big style on the greatest hits. Now we have Michael, who is in Washington. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Alan. I would just like to say, as many people have said, one night's not enough.
Bless you, man. Thank you.
Hopefully, during the week I like to listen. If I'm in the car or wherever, I like to listen. Sure. And one night's not enough. We need some more nights. So if the people are listening who decide this, we need more nights, please.
I'm telling them, you're telling them.
We need extra nights.
We keep our fingers crossed. Thank you. But anyway, crack on. What would you call about, mate?
A couple of things, quick things I just want to mention.
Sure.
I went in to Newcastle on Saturday and I forgot all about the industrial action on the metro.
Yeah.
Absolute nightmare. The trains, some trains were so full people couldn't get on. They were having to let them go.
Right.
And that was the same coming out. But of course, with the Christmas market being on as well, it was really, really busy.
I bet.
But what astonished me was they'd offered them, when I looked at online at this, they'd offered them 15%, but they get £46,000 a year.
Right. Yes.
And I'm thinking, £46,000 a year, and they've offered them 15%, and they've knocked it back. And I'm thinking, unless there's some other reason as to why they've knocked it back, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that is a fantastic wage in itself.
Absolutely. No, it's a stunner. Absolutely.
And I'm thinking, but there's no metro, and I don't think a lot of people realise, there's no metro running on the 21st and 22nd.
Right.
Of this month because of industrial action. They're off altogether.
Right. Hell's bells.
So...
And is this just drivers that get this, or is this engineers? Because that's a hell of a wage.
I'm not sure if it... I think it's just drivers.
Right.
I think it's just the drivers, as far as I'm aware. But don't get me wrong. I've never ever driven a metro. I wouldn't like to drive a metro. Right. You're on a track. It's not like a car. You can't kind of career off, but you've got to know how to read the signs as well. Otherwise, if you go through I don't know what colour the lights are. If they go through the wrong lights,
you're in
trouble. Cause a pile up. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you have to be.
It's a responsible job because they're carrying living beings.
That's it.
That's the deal. So to me, whatever they can get, good luck to them. No question about it.
Definitely.
But if there is somebody connected, if you are a driver of a metro train, is it that you all get, or are they just trying to say you all get that when in fact you're getting 23 and you want more? It's just I heard that number spat out at the weekend, and kind of like yourself, I kind of went, whew. At a time when they're cutting people's wages and sacking people and making them work I'm only doing 2 days a week, I'm only doing 3 days a week. At a time when that's kind of where society is, 46 grand's not a bad way.
It would be nice to, as you say, to hear from one of the drivers.
Yeah.
Whether this is everything added in. Is there something we are missing? I'm not sure. But it would be nice to hear from one of the drivers.
Yeah, somebody did. So just tell me why you've turned down 15%, because in an awful lot of negotiations with companies, and including, like we're talking the police, etc., they're saying yes to 1.5%.
Yeah.
Not 15%, 1.5%. So if 1.5 is okay, presumably because we've gone through this blasted austerity that everybody hates, and it's driving a lot of us to our knees to say, well, what the hell are you doing this? Why? Because we were promised that the austerity thing was, look, trust us, we'll have 3 or 4 really hard years, but we'll pay off our debt, and then we can come back and we'll be strong, we'll be this and we'll be that, and they haven't paid anything.
Yeah, but they didn't say in kind of not nearly 10 years we would have, you know, and it's really hard on people. It is. It's really hard.
Absolutely.
Can I just mention a couple of other quick things, because I do know that other people are obviously waiting to come on.
Sure.
The Night Owls, we would normally have a party. Has that ever been mentioned? Would that happen where you are now, since you've moved stations and things?
I would love to have a party. Problem is, we need to be on a full week, and as soon as we get a full week, we'll have a party. That's the deal.
And a couple of other people that I've not heard on, and I often think about.
Right.
Eleanor and Bernadette.
Right, haven't heard from them for a long time.
I was just wondering if you hear from them.
I did hear that Eleanor was ill, and also Bernadette was fairly poorly as well.
I used to have a good laugh. Used to ring,
great people.
You know, before you moved stations, we used to have a good laugh.
Absolutely. We lost them probably about 7 or 8 months before the end of the show came on Metro. But they're still out there. We know that they're still okay. They've just... People on Night Owls, they have their moment.
Unless they don't realise you've moved to another station. You've just gone off. I don't know. And is it Jean from Reckington?
Jean from Reckington's in the queue, so you'll hear her tonight.
Oh right, because I haven't heard.
She's been on a couple of times, and because it's one show a week, everybody wants to get on, which means that there's kind of queue.
There's a few different names, you know, that you I've heard you hear, and you kind of get used to hearing them, and then you don't hear them. I mean, I've heard Neil on.
Yeah, Neil's been on.
I've heard Neil on.
Yeah.
And the Welsh woman.
Linda from Barrisford.
I've heard her on as well. But as I say, Eleanor and Bernadette, I was just wondering, because I often think about them, and I was just wondering, you know, are they okay? And it'd be nice to get them back on again.
I would love that to happen.
It would be nice to get them back on.
We'll make steps. Thanks for coming on,
Thanks very
Michael.
much, Alan. Thanks.
Good to hear from you. Thank you for calling. It's the Night Owls on Greatest Hits, where we're going to make your Christmas quite something, especially if you win that $9,000 in the morning. Well, you have responded well. Thank you very much, Night Owls. We asked the question, do you have it in you to win yourself a nice little prize? Well, listen out for the place. You did, and you called in spades, so let's dive in. Brent from Morpeth was the very first one through. Hi, Brent.
Hello, Alan. You all right?
I'm very well. Got a question for you. Get the question right, and you win the prize, okay? And it's a prize that's currently in the top 30 albums, quite high up, actually, in the top 30 albums as it stands at the moment. And the question is, the characters from Friends, okay? One of them has a name that is shared with a very, very famous singer. Which one? And if you tell me that singer's name, you win that album.
Gosh, I'm not good with Friends.
Do you know the names of any of the characters?
Joey.
Rachel.
What?
Do you know the surnames?
Monica. Phoebe. Chandler.
Well, you've named them all, but which is the one you're going for?
We'll go for Monica.
Monica is not right. So, Brent, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to dive on and go to Bob, who's in Anfield Plain. Oh, blimey. Hello, Bob.
Hi, Alan.
Same question.
Hi, Alan. I didn't hear the question.
Okay, well, I'll try again for you. The television programme Friends, there's obviously 6 characters in it. One of the characters shares their name with a very, very famous singer. Which character, and as I say, not the actors, the characters they play, one of them shares their name with a very famous singer. Who is it? And if you name it, you get their album, which is currently in the charts, pretty high up.
Ooh,
name a member of Friends.
Ross.
Ross is not right, I'm afraid. Right, so we're going to have to move on to the Cult of Ange. Hello, Angela.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, you. How are you doing?
Okay, I'm just giving it a try.
Right, well, it's not Ross. It's not Monica. There's only 4 of them left. Who could it possibly be?
Phoebe.
Phoebe, we need their second name. Well, if you give me their first name, you're guessing, obviously. It's not. Phoebe Culdevange has been and gone. Now, because we've got so many other people waiting on lines to get through, we've only got the 3 lines we've been to. There's nobody on them. If you know who it is, call this second. 0191 488 3188. Call us right now and you'll stand a chance. There's only 6 members. It's not Phoebe. It's not Monica. And it's not Ross. So who's linked? Tom from Stakeford. I think Chris is just checking that he's all right, and he is. Hi, Tom.
No, it's Stephen.
Oh, it's Stephen. I beg your pardon. Hiya, Stephen. Tell me the answer to this thing, will you?
Is it Chandler Bing?
Chandler Bing, because Bing is...
Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby, it is. You've just won his #1 Christmas album, Bing with the London Symphony Orchestra. If it's not your style, I'm thinking it may well not be, it's a present for your mama, your nana. Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Alan.
You're welcome. Stay on the line, Stephen, and we'll sort you out. That is done. You know how you had Elvis did that album with the London Symphony Orchestra, and it was amazing. It was #1 for about 6 weeks. He made a second one. Roy Orbison's made a couple. Buddy Holly, Cilla Black. Well, now they've done Bing at Christmas with that orchestra in the background. Amazing what they can do. Anyway, let's get the calls in immediately after a very quick break, and then we talk to Paul in Gateshead about an amazing event that you might want to take part in.
The voice of the North.
Alan Robson's Night Owls. The phone-in that gets you talking.
There you go. We've got Paul from Gateshead in a second, but Anne's been on to tell us about Eleanor and Bernadette. Bernadette says that Eleanor is in a wheelchair, and by 9 o'clock at night, Bernie is shattered and in bed with pushing her around all day. She doesn't have any help, bless her. So that's the situation. But please pass our love back. We miss him. And Omar's been on about Louise. We had Louise Redknapp, as was. Louise, now, I'm not sure how she's playing that. And he says this: after listening to the interview the other week, it prompted me to dig out my old Louise CDs. Seems I've actually met her at one point and gotten one signed. Don't quite remember that. Anyway, if only she'd listened to her song lyrics, she may have made less questionable love decisions. Glad she's getting back on track. Real blast from the past, hearing her again. Well, a bit later in the show, I'm talking to Mel B from the Spiceys, so get ready for that. That's coming at you. And incidentally, you're looking for another song that will be played that will have a prize attached to it. And I can tell you that song is Wizards. I Wish It Would Be Christmas Every Day. When you hear it, you know, that ka-ching, that till, you can think of Rossi on the Breakfast Show offering you £9,000 tomorrow if you get clever as oot. However, tonight you could win another. I've got a number of juicy little things to dish out. And if you're interested in them, they shall be yours. We will spoil you tonight and every night up until Christmas and keep spreading the word of the owls, of course. First clue is already out there. When you go to sleep and imagine adventures, this is what you're doing. That's your first clue. Now remember, this is the first of 4 clues that will win you a Night Owl's Greatest Hits mug and the Jumanji movie memorabilia. And also, don't forget, if you want to ring in just for a signed picture, we got some new cards. If you would like one, give Chris a call right now on 0191 488 3188 and we'll send you one out tonight. Not a problem. Anyway, let's get cracking. Paul from Gateshead's up next. Hi, Paul.
Good evening, Alan. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good, man. Thank you very much for sending a fairly lengthy thing, but thank you very much for doing it. Nonetheless, it reminded me on Big Style that we had to get in touch with you. Tell us what it's all about.
What it is, Alan, I'm a member of a local running club, Red Kite Runners. We're based at Swalwell Juniors Football Club on the Dermot Park, Sporwell Road in Bladen, just around the corner from the rugby club on the road there, Red Kite.
I know it very well, because obviously we just used to work just along the road there for a long while. So, what is it that you're doing? And I gather it's your 5th successful year.
Yeah, it's April next year, it will be 5 years since a lady called Marianne Dodds set the club up, and we do various events, various run things. We've just done a food bank run to Trinity Methodist Church in Bladen last week, and we got, I think it was 137 kilos of food. We've got a Santa Dash coming up, and we've also got patented Couch of 5K. The new course starts 7th of January 2020, 40 days. You turn up night one, you run 1 minute, you walk 1 minute. 40 days later, you will run 5K.
Wow.
And then the big anniversary celebration, it is what we call Chase the Kite. It is our 5th anniversary race, a 10K race, and it is on Sunday, the 19th of April, 2020, and I'll start at the football club, Swalwell Juniors.
Right.
And we're just trying to spread the word a bit, try and get a few people in. We've got a guy, Joe, from Straightforward Studios in Gateshead, going to do us a video. We've got the mayor and mayoress at Gateshead coming along. We're going to try and get the local media there.
Right.
And ideally, we're looking for a radio presenter that could maybe be there at the start if he doesn't fancy running it. I mean, I've clapped your hands a couple of times at the Grey North Run. I thought, who do I know that's got a big race there? Bit about him. I know, Alan Robson.
Hey, well, I tell you, I've got the details. What is the specific date so that I can get it in early? It's April.
It is 11 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, the 19th of April, 2020.
19th of April. You see, because that fits in with exactly what I do here. So that's not impossible. Right, I've got that written down, fingers crossed. But tell me a little bit more about Marianne Dodds, because it was interesting. What you said in your email was that she created all of this because she was suffering from mental health issues and anxiety. And one of the things that I've noticed is that exercise, not just running, but running's a big part of it, that kind of stuff takes it out, it takes the sting of anxiety and mental health issues away, and kind of, it's almost like shaking an Etch-a-Sketch. You're free for a little while.
Absolutely. I mean, Marianne said at the time that she just went out running by herself and just like word of mouth, few Facebook posts. For a couple of weeks, no one turned up. And then I think about the third or the fourth week, she was more or less saying, like, I'll meet in Bladen, anyone want to come for a run? And then about 4 or 5 weeks later, a couple of people turned up. And then a couple of weeks after that, a couple of their friends turned up. And fast forward nearly 5 years, there's about, I think the Facebook group's got about 1,200. We've put nearly 1,000 through our Coach of 5K course.
Right.
And we regularly have like 250 runners turn up at busy times. We have various different groups. What we do stress is that we are a mixed ability group. We have walking groups, Couch of 5K groups, 5K distance groups. We have fun runners at the front for people who are fast. We have a tail runner at the back. We have mid runners. No one is ever left behind. If anyone's ever feeling anxious about coming and joining the running club, then they don't need to. Red Kite runners, we welcome everyone. Don't care how fast you are, how slow you are, you're welcome.
It's amazing. I mean, the whole thing is tremendous, even to the degree of food bank runs and walks. And I mean, talk about being in advance. You're doing one of those 3rd of December 2020. You're now already plugging next year's food bank run and walk. I mean, that's just tremendous. Been looking at some of the pictures of you, the Chase the Kite thing from Swalwell Football Club. It's just, you've got a great bunch of people there who all have got together for exactly the right reason.
That's it. I mean, we want to get a bit fitter, want to socialise a bit, get out there, get some fresh air, and no matter what you've got going on in your work life, in your personal life, for 35 to 60 minutes, it's your time. And you can come, meet up with like-minded people, forget your troubles, and just have a run. And even if you're injured or you're not ready to run, we've got a walking group.
Right.
And they have a good natter. They do the course. We do the road runs to Bladen during the winter. In the summer, once the clocks go back. And then we're back on the Derwent, April, October. And it's a really friendly club, Alan. Like, the things we do, like any charity events that the members suggest, we'll put them to the committee meeting. We'll see how it can help. And like, we're not for profit. It's purely just spread the word and just
So if somebody wanted to get involved with it, because it's April, and I mean, perfect for all of those people who are at the present moment making promises. Well, I'll just get through Christmas, and then I'll start. You know, because that's what happens. If people would want to give this a go, what do they have to do?
Well, they can go on my Facebook group, which is Red Kite Runners.
Right.
And if they go there, we've got an events page, or if they just want to turn up on spec, they can turn up. We meet at 6:30 on Tuesday and Thursday evenings, obviously at Swalwell Juniors Football Club. Anyone's welcome, even if they're not ready to run or they think it's too cold. We've still got a couple of weeks left before we break up for Christmas. Even if they want to turn up for a natter, meet some of the leaders and volunteers and say, well, I'm thinking about doing it in the new year. I've never done it before. What do you advise? Right. Just to get to know people. I mean, actually, we're Santa Dash this Sunday. That's 11 o'clock in the morning, starting from the football club.
Right.
Anyone more than welcome to come down, see what we're all about, and just share the runners.
It's funny because
the atmosphere up and meet everybody.
Having read your letter, because you said it, sending this in case it was missed. Well, it is, because I'm only here 1 day a week, obviously. So there is
That's
stuff.
The thing. We need you back for 5 days a week, Alan.
No, me too. But so things are getting missed. I'm trying to be as fastidious as I can. But when I read through your letter, first of all, you are one of those that managed to get the radio station playing across your night shift tannoy, which is always good. Then the other link was you used to live in Coulson Street in Benwell, because I'm a Benwell lad, so know that whole part of the area. Then you mentioned that Newcastle had just beaten Leicester City 7-1 and been presented with a trophy. Well, I hosted Lindisfarne on stage at the ground. I don't know if you were in the... If you're in the ground,
I was in the ground, Alan, yes.
Well, we put Lindisfarne on halfway through the thing, and it was really funny because I was playing the music and I was down on the pitch introducing the players to everybody and getting cheers, and Lindisfarne did their set, then went off and essentially got drunk. I mean, didn't just have a few. Part of the deal was, you could have whatever you wanted at the bar, which was considerable. And they were completely, they were singing without a band. They were just, they were in this other place. And so John Hall came in to me and said, Alan, get Lindisfarne together again. I want them back on stage to do another set. Now, this is 3 hours since the last time they were on stage, and they'd been drinking ever since. And they were all in different parts of the stadium, and the stage had been pulled down. So this is impossible. And I says, but he says, no buts, just get it done. Okay. And then he said, I want them singing Home Newcastle. I said, well, that's not even one of their songs. So what can I do? So anyway, brought back a load of great memories. And then you said that you'd queued up at a phone box to ring
on the West Road.
To ring the Night Owls to sing a song when we were doing one of our crazy nights on the Friday. Yeah. And you sang, thank you very much for the 6 points, Sunderland, and got flushed down the netty.
Oh, you pushed down the netty, I couldn't believe it.
Excellent. But what I loved about it was you'd queued up all that time. You got nettied, but you got your message across. And he says, and we walked away proud as punch. That's what it was all about, that kind of stuff. So thank you very much for being loyal.
Absolutely.
Steadfast
it's just a shame it took 26 years to ring you back.
Well, hopefully in April at 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning, that is one that's slap bang in the middle of my possibilities. So let me hopefully make a point of getting along there. I'll talk to Hollywood McShane, and maybe we can go down en masse and do a little bit something at the certainly.
Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be absolutely brilliant.
Love to do it. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you so much, Alan.
Appreciate it.
God bless you. Thank you.
Loved everybody else. Bye-bye. Oh, just nice people. You see, if people are loyal to you like that, you want to try and get involved where and when you can. And because that's the beginning of, essentially, a night owl day, because with the new station, I've got to get here even earlier than normal, so I'll be in here by 1 o'clock, 1:30. So to get up from Berwick, maybe about 9 o'clock in the morning, and have a drive down, do that first. I think it'd be a lovely thing to do. And they sound great people as well. So let me just and it's the Red Kite Runners. Just nice to show solidarity with good people. So if I can, I will. Fingers crossed. Right, let's get cracking. Now, don't forget, you're listening out for a wizard tune, and next week, Roy Wood's going to be on the show. How good is that? There you go, bit of S Club 7. Why not? We are one clue into our 4, and we have another contest awaiting. If you can answer a simple question. Ooh. All right, that will be coming up, and we've got a few things, including some classic arcade games that we're going to be dishing out, and some more of the top 10, top 20 CDs that we are sharing with you tonight. And as I say, if they're not your cup of tea, make sure that they're Christmas presents. That's the way it always works. Now, Harvey's been on. We've been talking about the ugliest damn things that you've seen. And Harvey says, I'm not squeamish, but I recently took my recycling rubbish out to our designated bin, only to find a large split bag of dog waste in it. Yuck. Councils refuse to recycle contaminated waste and increases the cost of disposal. Our bin cleaner told me that he regularly finds inappropriately dumped bags of dog waste. And I'm sure most dog owners are responsible, but there really is no excuse for inappropriate disposal. Sticking in other people's bins as well. Nasty. Please bag it and take it home. Yours, Harvey. There you go. Thank you, Harvey. Let's go and talk to Rich, who is in Stockton. Hi, Rich.
Hello, Alan. I'm back. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you very much for coming back. What are you talking about tonight, then?
First of all, do you know how close I was to talking to you last week?
How close were you?
I was on the line and I was next, and the lady that's always on, I forget her name now, and then you you went on to someone else, and Chris come back on. He said, "Sorry, we've run out of time." You'll have to come
no! Right, it was right at the end of the. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah.
How would you got there this week? Well done.
Yeah, I've been waiting 3 hours as well. Anyway,
nightmare.
Me first little qualm with you, it's a little bit of a bully pick on you. You know I like your grizzly tales, and I listened to your grizzly tale about Hollywood. You know, you started off about Hollywood.
Yes.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed you didn't have Hollywood Brick Shane on there.
Right, no, it should have been. It was made for that, but no, he's not dead yet. So when he is, we'll do the Ghost of Hollywood, definitely.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell us some very nasty dirty little secret he had in there.
Well, it's not as if I couldn't. Right.
Yeah, we'll leave that then.
Right.
Anyway, the first thing you were asking about the most awful thing you've ever seen. Straight away come to my memory I'm going back about getting on for 40 years now. I was over, I won't say where I was out with some mates from school, because I was more or less at school at the time.
Right.
We went for a day out like lads do, and I was about 16 at the time, about 1984, 85 anyway, and we were out and we went through this car park, and there was, them soft top car parks where you can put the top down in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the summer, and in the car park somebody had obviously parked this Pride and Joy up, parked it up in the car park, left the top down and went wherever, whereas we walked past, about 4 of us, and we could smell summer, and we went near. Somebody had purposely vomited all over that car, all over the back seats, front seats, dash. You could see they'd purposely throw up all over it. Maybe it's more than one person. I'm guessing jealous. Obviously, at the time I was 16 or so. I didn't really understand what have they done that for, But now I know, like jealousy and all the rest of it,
Spoilers. I hate spoilers.
Oh, it was terrible. What a mess. You'd never. I can still remember it, and the smell. Another thing. Next thing. Adverts on the telly with celebrities. Why is it one week a celebrity will tell you to buy one thing, and then the following week they're not interested in that anymore? They'll tell you to buy something else. And I know what you're going to say. It's money in it.
Absolutely, Ka-ching does it every time. And it's funny because some of the world's greatest actors and actresses are in these French perfume commercials. There's one where she's all dressed in gold. She steps out of the water. You think she's naked, but she's not. She's wearing a gold dress, and you hear this big triumphant kind of walk when she's strutting and stuff because she's worth it and everything. And it's probably cost them as much to get her to do that advert as it would be for her to make a film. You know, but if they're paying, if they're paying that kind of money, I mean, you're not going to get her for like £250 plus VAT. I don't think.
I thought like celebrities doing like usually a 30-second advert. I thought they maybe said, oh well, we'll give you like $2,000. Will you do this, or $5,000 for somebody really special? But they get a lot more than that, do they?
Oh yeah. Well, you see, because it's image rates. Some of the movie stars, they have solicitors just for their image rates. In other words, if somebody uses a picture of them that they didn't agree, they can charge money for that. And for image rates, you're talking hundreds of thousands, if not millions. I know that for one of the Beckham commercials was certainly 7 figures, and yet that's because it's a picture. It's the advert on the telly. It's pictures in every newspaper and magazine that runs the ad for whatever the fragrance was. And it's whichever countries across the world take it, because it's not just going to be advertised in Britain. It could be in France, because obviously he played abroad a fair bit in different countries. It'll be all over. It'll be all over America. It's big business, man. So at first I used to think, how did they get that to do this and that?
I know.
Think how clever. Just for a moment, Jumanji. Now I know I'm saying this because I have behind me all the Jumanji gear, which is a sleeping bed, like a sleeping blanket thing, a baseball cap, and a rucksack that I have to give away tonight. Now, Jumanji also appeared on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here in the Jungle, running one of their competitions. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, appeared on I'm a Celebrity.
And you heard about that, yeah.
And Jumanji's also being advertised on TV at the present moment all over Britain, in every newspaper and every magazine. It's getting out to as many people as possible to plug it. And you can understand how it's going to be a success automatically because of the kind of coverage it's already got. And there's going to be people whizzing off to see it because they've got their marketing right. But they market it, and to get Dwayne Johnson to do that, the film company probably said when they started plugging it, you're going to have to do a few things to plug it, which means they could sell him and it to a few TV shows around the world, because he's agreed to promote the film, and if you're in it, you've got to promote it. But if they'd come to him just to do it on his own behest, would it cost? I don't know how much because he's one of the biggest stars in the world at the moment, isn't he? The Rock.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much that would have added up to. But local celebs, they're far more reasonable. Hang on. Oh, here we go. One of our local celebrities who did the voice of Rocky Robin got paid $9,000 for his 45 minutes of work. Tim Healy, I think that was. $9,000 for 45 minutes. Now, years ago, it's funny, I've just been talking about this lately, voiceovers. I did a voiceover for McEwen's Lager. This is 25, 30, possibly 35 years ago. A TV advert for McEwen's. And it went all over Britain. It was a big success. And it was the one that had the catchphrase, "It's the one you've got to come back for." And I was the voice of that. I feel very proud about it. Everybody's forgotten it. But I remember it well, and it was on TV, and it was big success. My face wasn't on it, but my voice was, because they put a different voice. They put like a Scouse voice on for Liverpool. They put a Scottish voice on for Scotland, Welsh voice on for the Welsh people, but all on the same face. Well, it's the one you've got to come back for. And on Tyneside and Wearside and Teesside, I was that voice. And for that was with Saatchi and Saatchi, who were a big London advertising thing. In total, for that TV commercial, and it was just voice, was something like $4,000. And I was down in London to record it. They gave me cash in hand about 600 quid just to get me there, to get me down and back. And I was in the studio with Robbie Coltrane, who was voicing the Scottish version. He did the Scottish voice. I did the northeastern voice, and we both got the same. And we weren't ever. It wasn't like voices provided by. We didn't get anything like that. We were just the voice, and that's kind of the money. And that's 30 odd years ago. So you can imagine where it is now. If you happen to be, I don't know, Keanu Reeves or whatever, or what? Who's that? Johnny Depp digging a hole in the desert for no apparent reason.
That's right. Yeah, I've seen that one.
To bury his necklace. Still got no idea what that's about. But imagine the kind of cash. And then, okay, well, I'll take that money for it being played in England, but how much for America?
Yeah.
Then the money goes up again.
I can vaguely remember. I don't know if this one was you. Going back when I was quite young at school, possibly 30 odd year, no, probably longer actually. And it was a guy out the army, and he went absent without leave, and he ended up in this pub, and there was and the landlord said, "Oh, would your mates like a drink?" And it's two military policemen behind him, and that said McEwen's best Scotch, the one you got to come back for.
Yes.
And they called the fella Armstrong. He won't be Armstrong when I get hold of him.
Right.
I can remember the advert, and I remember the voice behind that. It was like a really strong Geordie voice. That one, I can remember that one. And I must have been very young with that one. But I didn't realise it was different voices for different areas. I just thought it was one voice for the whole lot.
Well, this is why people think, well, that's cheap. Just get one guy in, does the whole country. No, there was a Cockney one, there was a Cornish one, there was a Norwich one, the one for Bristol in the West Country.
Learn a lot listening to you and talking to you.
Strange but true. Anything else then, Rich?
Yeah, one last one. I'll be quick, because otherwise I'll be here all night. Right. I know I can't talk about the election. It's all right to talk about after Brexit, if it happens, sort of thing. That's all right, isn't it? Yeah. Just about going back to the London Bridge, that fella that the knife and he got shot dead and everything. After we leave the EU, if we leave, when we leave, whatever, is it right that I think I've asked you this before, but now it's like right on the cards, looking like 31st of January and all, going by what I've heard on the telly, that it is possible, because a few people have said it on the telly, that they could bring back the death penalty for people like that, obviously if he wasn't shot dead. For people that do that kind of thing, go around and like murder loads of people, like the Manchester bomber, if he hadn't died, you could actually bring it back if once we're out of the EU. Is that correct? And
yes, they could, but it would probably take a referendum, and the last thing that anybody's going to do, following the complete pig's ear of the last one, the last thing that somebody's going to do is offer up another referendum. So
I thought they could do it under some emergency law, just like if we had a majority, And,
well, I mean,
and
it's still on our it's still on our books now. For treason, you can be hanged by the neck until you're dead. I mean, we still have a death penalty on the books as it stands. So yes, we could certainly bring it back around. I just don't think that it will happen. In fact, I think I have a feeling that things are still not going to sort themselves out in the way that everybody thinks.
I don't mean the death penalty, like not free and easy for every crime going.
For terrorist crime, I think. Yeah,
just for a terrorist sort of thing, like that type of thing, where obviously they've gone out to kill loads of people, sort of thing, and that, specifically for that one thing. And I dare say I don't know, but I dare say public opinion would possibly be very strong for that.
I think it would too. But I think probably what's happened here is that somebody's had a conversation with the police, the armed police, especially of London, saying if you come across these people, take them out. Don't wound them, take them out. And I think if you say that to the armed police, I don't know whether that conversation's ever been had, but how many, since the corporal was almost beheaded, if you remember that,
yes,
poor young lad,
Rigby, I know. It's terrible.
2 people in prison now. They'll be there for the rest of their lives. They'll never get out. And nobody ever, from then, everybody's been either shot dead or taken out because they don't want to bring them back from Syria, though. You're picking on people that have committed atrocities. So, personally, I don't think it'll happen. But it is possible. I must move on because I've got to take a break now.
I know you do. Sorry. Okay.
It's all right, but I'll catch you next time, Rich. Thanks for coming on.
You will. Okay, bye-bye.
Cheers, man. Bye-bye. Sorry about that. We could talk all night because it's kind of what we do. We're back after this.
This is Real Life Conversation with the voice of the North.
This is Night Owls with Alan Robson.
Call 0191 488 3188.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Time for your second clue as well. It could win you that Jumanji stuff, all of the movie memorabilia. It's good stuff too. And you'll get your Greatest Hits Night Owls mug as well. So, well looked after tonight. First clue was, when you go to sleep and imagine adventures, this is what you're doing. Second clue, magicians often say, pick something, any something, from a deck of some things. Okay? Magicians often say, pick this, any this, from a deck of them. Okay? Pick a what? 2 clues down, 2 more clues to come. We've got a few more bonus bits and bobs for you as well. See how well you do. We've got Mel B coming up on the show tonight as well as Blamey. It's going to be busy, but let's get as many of you guys on here as we can. We have Margaret from Lorraine in France. Hello, Margaret.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, darling. Well, thanks for being with us. How's it going? The last we heard, you were trying to bring in some money by doing outside stuff.
That's right, yes.
Is that going well for you?
It's going okay, yes. We've got some outside work in 4 days a week, and then we do in the house the rest of the 3 days. So
Right. So it's not like you've got to a point...
It's good.
So it's not like you've got to a point, though, where you can say, I think we'll take the next week off. You're still battling to get there. It's going to be a while. I know.
No, it's hard work, but like you say, Gary's got a lot of... he's been pointing these old bonds.
Right.
And I've just been helping mix like the cement and helping and carrying and fetching. I'm his labourer. No, we've been... that's what we've been doing. The calcare that we are delivered, we've shifted about 90 tonne of calcare altogether.
And I gather you're the one on the wheelbarrow as well. Oh, good gracious.
Yes,
woman.
and the shovel.
You must have arms like Garth. I mean,
I've got... I call myself Iron Arms. I've got Iron Arms.
She's got the guns to show for it as well. So bottom line, though, is you're not going to be anywhere near done till what, April, May next year?
Oh, May. Easily May, June, in fact, Alan. Right. Our date for moving in, when we initially, before we even started, would have been next Friday.
Oh, really? Good gracious.
Yes. So that's going to be we should have been moving in there, but no, it's
I don't
anyway.
You wouldn't change it though if you had the chance, would you? I mean, I get the impression that you're totally committed. You're going to see this through.
Oh, we've got to, Alan. It's don't get us wrong, and I keep saying this. It has been hard. The weather, we've had that much. In the summertime, it was like 44 degrees, 46 degrees. No. We've had that much rain here, which the locals have said it's never been known, that much rain. So there's been a weather issue with building. There's been, the exchange rate. And
Killer.
Now the exchange rate is going up, but we've got no more pounds to change. So it's like... It's just our luck, do you know what I mean? It's, but never mind. No, I would not change it, Alan. Not change it for the world. We were just on about it today, and we were talking about it, and says we've got each other. We bounce off each other. We work well together, and that's what just keeps us going. You know, eventually we will get there. We will.
So next year, though, you know, if and when this all comes together, and it's May, June, whenever it is, because it's not really the finished date that counts; it's the journey, isn't it? So whenever it happens, once it's done, though. Will you then become like just the lady of the house and leave him to go out and bring in the bread? Or are you going to continue to be his labourer because he's kind of got used to you now?
No, we are working as a team. I'll carry on being his labourer, and what I've done is we've registered, obviously, here as micro-entrepreneurs.
Right.
Gary's registered as a building consultant / builder.
Right.
Which he is. And I've registered as, in England, I used to work at the university scribing for students with disabilities or mentoring adults with learning disabilities in colleges. But here, because I'm not that very good at their language yet, but I'm getting there. I'm just going to be like a labourer, so I'll be Gary's help. And I even said, because I've been talking to people, French and English, and nobody seems to want to iron here. So I thought, exactly, yeah. So I thought, I can iron.
Yeah.
I like ironing. So, and then I thought, like, what will be my little, I could be, my business type of thing / would be, I'll be called the Iron Lady.
The Iron Lady, brilliant. What a great title as well.
Yes.
I can see that on the side of your little tootly van going round with everybody's sheets and all of that. I can see.
Hanging out the window to dry.
That's brilliant. But no, if you found an area that isn't being dealt with, step into it and take it away. Absolutely.
I've done my little research, just talking to people in the area, the little village and beyond, and nobody likes to iron. And plus, especially in the summertime, Alan, you've got loads of sheets around here for holiday lets and whatever.
Yeah.
And they charge a fortune, these big companies, for ironing. And so I thought, there's a little gap there, which maybe I can fill.
And all you need is two big industrial washers in the garage, and you're off. You could be washing and ironing all day long.
I'll be happy about that, yeah. I said, Gary, I can't work for you today, I'm ironing.
You got the choice of building those guns up even bigger. I tell you, you'll never have the bingo wing, though. That's a great thing.
No, exactly, no. When I wave me arms don't wobble. No disrespect to, bingo wing.
No,
you do get them.
Plenty to have. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Hey, not to worry. Margaret, bless you. Thank you for coming on. We will keep an eye on you over the next weeks to come. And fingers crossed that you have a great Christmas. Thanks for coming on, sweetheart.
Oh, and you, Alan, right? You all the best to you.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Get your head down. My goodness. I just think they're so brave. They're taking all of that on. I'm going to buy a house in France because the land's cheaper. I'm going to get stuck in. I'm going to make it happen. And the two of them, I would certainly not stand against them. I just think it's kind of a dream come true-y thing, isn't it? Go for your life's best house. And it's going to be abroad for them. Elliot is next. He is in the city of Durham. Let's head there. Then a piece of music. Hi, Elliot.
Hello, Alan. How are you doing? You okay?
I'm good, man. Thank you. What would you like to talk about tonight?
Basically, I'm following on from last week. You was talking about mental health last week.
Yes.
I only caught the back end of it, but it was late on. Now, what I am at the minute, I'm an alienated parent.
Right.
So I'm with a group of people. We're campaigning to create awareness with parental alienation and trying to change the laws.
Explain alienated parent. Alienated by whom?
Well, basically, parental alienation is when one parent blocks the other parent having contact through lies, whatever, or turning the other children against the other parent.
The thing that I've never understood about that whole thing is I always presumed that if you are a parent of of a child or children, and it's not working. You understand that, but the argument's not with the child, it's with the other person. So therefore, both parents should still have direct access with the child or children, because that's the best thing for the bairns. And yet they say, well, yes, that's exactly right, and you go to court, you sort it out, and there isn't a problem. In my experience, there's always a problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it is on paper to other people.
Yeah.
But out there in the wider audience, the general population, they don't understand what's going on. See, family court isn't like criminal court. If your ex comes up with an allegation, that's factual with the social services, CAF. You have to prove that it's not a factual. Now, if it's he saying it's completely made up, how can you prove otherwise? You know, so it's a big minefield. And today, there's 4 million kids waking up every morning without one parent. But if you think about that, as in 4 million kids waking up without a parent, you've got grandparents, uncles, aunties, cousins. You know, you're probably talking 20 million family members affected by PA, and it's a bad thing, like.
No, but it's just that... Does the woman not... Because it sounds very much female-orientated, as if the woman tends to get the better of the whole court thing.
That's how it started back in the day, probably back in the 70s, 80s. But now what's happening is some of the men are thinking, well, hang on a minute. If I don't alienate her, she'll alienate me. So this is getting dads to do the same, and also grandparents and uncles and aunties, everybody. You know, it's crazy. It's almost like a free-for-all. Basically, the first person who picks the phone up to the police and says, he or she shouted at me or they've slapped me, whatever. I mean, because your DV now, it's raising your voice to a woman, that's DV. I don't think it's the same for men, but I don't know. But if a man makes a phone call and says, like, she's done this, she'll get arrested. Once she's out of the house, then she can't get back in. And the police won't enforce entrance, then that's when the alienation starts. Once they start saying lies
But the thing that I don't understand, though, Elliot, is that I've spoken to a lot of you guys that have that are alienated, if that's the word we're going to start using about this, because it's new to me, but it makes absolute sense. There was one case where this guy had been to court 3 and 4 times. The wife had made an awful lot of allegations that had all been disproven. You know, like he's abusing the children. Well, check the children. The children haven't been abused. It's a lie. So surely once the courts have found out that your ex is lying, is making up stuff to stop you seeing your child, you would have presumed that they would have done 2 things. One, suggest that the man takes over the care of the children because the mother is patently a liar and not thinking of the best interests of her own offspring. And secondly, well, then the courts would never listen to anything that the woman says again because you cannot trust her.
Well, see, the thing with it is, and Victoria Derbyshire Show, she covered it with Anthony Douglas, he's the top man of the social services. And basically they kind of asked the same question. Well, if a woman says that he's raped the kids or he's raped her through family court and it's found out to be told a lie, why did the police not do it on a criminal side? Because she's basically telling a lie. So basically, it kind of gives them, how can I explain this without upsetting your listeners? Basically, it gives the woman free-for-all to do what she wants. And they can make up whatever allegations, do whatever they want, because there's no punishment. And this is the trouble, you see. Now, with a man, and I know this myself because I've been at the wrong end of it. I've been arrested, and I've been slammed away 3 times over this PA stuff. Now, in there, some people were getting 6 months above just for raising the voice of the woman, you know. And it's mental. When I first got locked up in 2016, I got talking to one of the governors, and he said over 80% of Durham Jail are suffering mental health. And why is that? He said, but there's 80% of males in here are in for domestic violence or this kind of thing, and they're all related, and they've all got kids. So it's mad. Now,
you see, if we accept, and I think it is generally accepted, the children are raised better when they've got two parents. And I'm not saying the two parents have to be in the same house, but essentially, if two parents raise them, they've got a better chance of growing up a balanced individual. Surely that's what every parent should want.
I can break that down for you a little bit, really, on a scientific level. Basically, if you can imagine, you're part of two people. You're half your mum, half your dad.
Yeah.
Now, remove half of that from that child, and then that child's got to go through life trying to find its purpose.
Yes.
How can it find its purpose when it doesn't know the other half of the other half identity? It's impossible. Now, see, I was alienated myself from my own dad, so I grew up through that. But I went through horrific abuse. I've been sexually abused, you name it, physically abused. It's all happened to me. And this, what kids go through being alienated from a parent, is far worse than actually being sexually abused. And that's from my experience. Wow. And a lot of people we speak to, it's that bad because you're emotionally splitting a child into. It's almost like you're cutting a child in two. I mean, how is that child supposed to be able to get his head around that? Because there's no counselling for the parent, there's no counselling for the kids. There is counselling for mental health, but there's no manual, there's no book, there's no doctors, there's no nothing what understand what it's like to go through.
Well, we've been hearing over the last few months how there's shorter doctors, there's shorter nurses, there's shorter specialists in the field of mental health, and let's face it, it is a specialist area. You can't just have any nurse or any GP dealing with it. It's a specialist area. And on the back of that, especially late at night in the quiet times when people need just a somebody, there's nobody there anymore. And it's just plain wrong.
This is a problem. I spoke to the doctors last week to see if they still do counselling. Not for me, for other people, because I cover quite a few things. They don't do it anymore. You have to go through talking changes.
Yeah.
So I spoke to talking changes to see what can be done. You're on the phone to them for 8 weeks before you can even get to counselling. By that time, most people, I'm not being funny, they're gone. You know, if people need help, they need help today, not tomorrow, not next week. They need it today, you know.
Right, no question.
It's the same with all the homeless as well. I mean, the list can, we can go on and on and on, you know. But one thing I can tell you is, since 2011, when they've cut the legal fees, the legal aid to like the applicant, there's a 520% rise in parents applying to court, representing themselves. There's another 490% who actually can afford representation.
Wow.
So, and that's since 2011. But what they're saying is, Anthony Douglas and different people, they're trying to explain that the reason why that is because more women are coming forward about domestic violence. But we've got figures, but we're not allowed to show them yet because we've got to cover our own backs. But we know today it's the 68% more men get abused than the woman. But them figures, as soon as they come up, they got squashed. They've disappeared. So, but that's. But
I mean, in recent years, I've had more. You know? I've had more calls from men in recent years about being beaten and abused and talked down to and all that kind of stuff than ever before. So it wouldn't surprise me. Elliot, I got to move on, my friend. But thank you very much for coming on. Strong views, and we really appreciate them. We don't half need a change.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, man. You take care. It is the Night Owls. We wish better things ahead. Lovely stuff. We said watch out for Wizard if you would like to win a prize. And you can tonight. We have a galaxy of arcade classics. It's a whole batch of arcade games. And we have a very simple question that goes with it. Question is, what's simple to one is not necessarily simple for everybody else. Okay? So, simple as that. And all you got to do is pick up your telephone and give us a call. We would love to hear from you if you would like to win a whole pile, a galaxy of arcade classics. That is the question, okay? So Do you want to win them? And if you do, champion. Let's do this. And we are starting off with, it's Linda from Beresford. Hello, Linda.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, how you doing? You all right?
Oh, all I want for Christmas is my 3 front teeth. I've got them, Alan.
You've got no tuffers?
I got 3 teeth taken out and...
oh, no. What's happened with that?
And I've got a nice palate in now.
You got a parrot in. What are you eating a parrot for? Most people are having turkey this time of year. She's having a parrot? No, I mean, you got a palate in for your teeth. Oh, my goodness.
I can smile again, you know.
Hurrah! Well, that's good. Let's see if you can... Let's make you something to smile about. Courtesy of E-Games, I've got a galaxy of arcade classic games for you to play if you fancy. And to win it, all you got to do is tell me the name of the capital of Venezuela.
Oh.
Yeah.
The capital of Venezuela.
Yes. What is it?
Canada.
Canada is not the capital of that, so technically... It's one of them. If you know the answer, you should be ringing now. You really should. We got Omar from Hebburn next. Hi, Omar.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, man. Do you know the answer to that?
I do indeed. I was born in the country next door.
Right, so what is the capital of Venezuela?
Caracas.
It is Christmas Caracas. Congratulations. We'll get this prize out to you first thing in the morning. Thanks for coming on, Omar. All the best,
Thank you very much.
Take care. There you go. Short, smart, and a whole pile of arcade classic games that he decided to ring for. You didn't. He's got them. 01914 488 3188. The next song that you are looking for is Chris Rea, Driving Home for Christmas. Okay, Driving Home for Christmas. That's the next one you got to ring in for. And you get a few things with a couple of really, really nice prizes as well.
This is the home of Alan Robson's Night Owls.
With the voice of the North.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And a big thank you to everybody that's been sending in Christmas cards as well. William from Castletown sent them in for Hollywood McShane and I, and also Chris Felton, who's been on our switchboard tonight. We got all the guys together for We Shall Blah. Big thank you to Charlotte as well, who sent a lovely little reindeer card, and also Chris and David from Sacriston, a thoughtful Santa with a teddy bear there. So thank you very much to everybody that sent stuff in. And again, just send them to the Metro Radio building and just mark them for me, and I shall still get them because we're using one of their studios for the times being. And anyway, we have lots of quick things to remind you. Don't forget about Robson's Worlds if you want to check out some grizzly, because people are always saying, tell us some grizzly stories on the show. That one night on a Sunday, you kind of get everything in, is the deal. If we spread it out, then there's room for everything, and that's what we're aiming for long term. So let's get there and make it happen and gather the clans on a Sunday night first. And also, do not forget, we've got our podcast out there, Grizzly Tale, and they're out every Wednesday fresh. And Hollywood McShane's put something out there.
I put Christmas Panto, the award-winning Christmas Panto, on YouTube, so you can listen to it now. Well, not now.
No,
not now.
No, you didn't. No, but it's for grown-ups only, and it is a bit sexist.
Yes.
On purpose, because James Bond obviously
It's a couple of hours of good entertainment.
It's very silly. I did have a listen to it on the way in tonight in the car, and it did make me laugh out loud. On a couple of occasions, so give it a try.
Not yet.
It is, yeah. Give it a try at 2:00 tonight, or alternatively, just have a lazy afternoon across the week, or a lazy evening in, and you can enjoy 2 hours of blatant stupidity.
It's full of stars as well.
Yeah, all the celebs are there. There's no question about that. You'll know most of them, that's for sure, and we'll educate you with the new ones. But it is time right now for the blah. The blah is when we take a close look at what's happening in the white world, particularly when it comes to front pages of the national newspapers. And we also have Hollywood McShane's all over me like sweat. It must be something to do with my cologne. Monday's national newspaper front pages will see what's texting, what's tweeting, what's floating people's boats as we speak. But we always start with the newspapers. This is what you're going to get rammed hard through your front door in the morning if you are of that sort. The Sun, devastating special report. Waking up to Corbyn as Prime Minister on Friday the 13th would just be the start of a nightmare. Seduced by Labour's manifesto of bribes, read our experts' grim vision of Marxist Britain. Blimey, at one time, isn't it funny now? I don't understand this. On radio, we're not allowed to stress any kind of preference at all because we're media. Now, that newspaper has chosen where they want to be and they're just allowed to do it. I don't.
Is it because the owners have got to want you to vote a certain way, so they're just, propaganda?
Well, I'm sure it is, but it's just, I don't know how you can say on TV and radio you've got this rule, but if you're in a newspaper, you can pick who you support and run with it. It just, to me, just seems wrong, because they should give everybody a fair crack and let the public decide who they want, not have it, but it's kind of like the Russians persuaded everybody to Brexit, according, because 6.5 million texts to British people. That's a lot of text.
I didn't get one.
I don't think I got one either.
No.
But then again, I didn't vote, so it would have been useless for me. Daily Star. Jack is crowned Queen of the Jungle. Now, I didn't know who this was.
Jacqueline Josser.
Oh, Jackie. I was going to say, I thought it was a girl.
Jackie?
It is a girl.
Jack. Well, just because you said Jack, I don't watch it, you see.
That's what it's written on the paper.
Big spoiler now.
But
does someone have that on catch up for later? I.e. me.
However, I saw one or two of these, and it was decent.
I lose track. I mean, it's nothing much happens.
No, it's kind of the same every
They keep getting on. That's the problem. The last couple of years, they all get on, and if they get on, it's sort of like, they're not going to fight, they're not going to argue. They try and.
Well, of course, they're all happy. They're getting paid a fortune. Being there for 3 weeks.
That's
so
it. This day and age,
what you've got to do is eat a few
It's not an ordeal anymore. The way things are going at the jungle.
Because you're not allowed to eat living things anymore.
No.
Just
a few testicles and
the odd anus.
anuses. Yeah,
there you go. I knew you were going to say that. You've been on that tack since 10 o'clock. Anyway, a major incident is the headline. A row as Faulty Towers racism on telly again. You know the Faulty Towers, the German episode. They say it's now racist. Well, it was actually a Mickey take of racists, I think you find. However, what do you think, Night Owls? Give us a call. Daily Mirror, the Jack of Hearts, picture of this Jacqueline person, and the picture that shames the Tories, desperate. This is a story from today. Boy, aged 4, is treated on the floor in hospital because there's no beds available. Worst crisis in the NHS since the NHS started. And you can argue, well, we're going to do something about it. They've had 10 years in power, pretty much, the Tories, and have they or haven't they? Well, it's to be discussed. Daily Express, Jacqueline is Queen of the Jungle, a weather bomb alert, and exclusive Prime Minister's message to Daily Express readers, Boris, the last chance to save Brexit and Britain. So again, they've nailed their colours to the mast, as Labour did. The Times, Johnson to blitz seats in Labour heartland, and a message of hope as experts say the cancer battle is being won. Great if that's true. The Guardian, Corbyn in last-ditch drive to focus on voters' finance, and 1 in 5 schools need urgent repair work, but the Tories don't have the money for it. The government have no money to put into schools and no money to put into the hospitals, but they're promising fortunes for everything, as they all are. Daily Mail, a free pullout. Gordon Ramsay's best ever Christmas recipes. And the thing that I find really funny about this is, about 4 years ago they went, Gordon Ramsay's best ever Christmas recipes. They must just say, what have we had? What have we already paid for? Oh, yeah, we're going to run. Hey, it's been 4 years since. Oh, yeah, so the Daily Mail, Prime Minister blasts Labour Brexit betrayal. He attacks sneering Corbyn and targets his heartlands. There you go. Okay. Daily Mail, picking their colours. They all seem to be on the same side, except the Daily Mirror is the only Labour one we've seen yet. The Information newspaper, National Health Service waiting times ordeal for patients covered up. Hang on, this one's probably worth reading. NHS England accused of using misleading data to hide the true numbers waiting for 12 hours or more in hospitals. Medics say thousands of cases are being missed from flawed data that fail to record waiting times accurately. We are clearly in the worst state we've ever been as we enter the winter season, say the Royal College of Emergency Medicine. The way we measure performance is not right. In other words, they fiddle it. So that's that. And let's have a look at the rest, because I know for sure there's a couple left. Daily Telegraph. Corbyn will betray Brexit, says Johnson, as he takes the fight to Labour's heartlands. And the Financial Times. Beijing orders the removal of foreign PCs and software. Chris, over to you.
So it's been discovered that cows that are happier produce better milk, apparently. So a farmer in Russia has taken this to extreme measures by getting all of the cows in his field to wear VR headsets. And every day he changes up what they can see. So they're not faced with the harsh reality of where they are. A lot of factories around, a lot of things pumping out smoke and all of that stuff. Instead, they're surrounded by loads of other fields with loads of other cows. And they're feeling happier because they think they're surrounded by more of their kind.
Right.
They're happier, they're producing better milk. It's been proven to work in Russia.
How does he know they're happier?
Yeah. I don't know how the milk's better. So he thinks it's because they're happier. Because, how does he know they're happier? They might not want to be surrounded by loads of cows. I don't know.
You see, my question is, what does it feel like to be milked?
You feel happier.
Well, this is... No, but that's the question. Irrespective...
Good question. 0191
I'm going to say, irrespective of what is happening around you, ultimately you've got to get milk to get the milk out of you.
So are you looking forward to it?
If you've got sore teats or something and you still got to go through that, doesn't matter what you're looking at, you're still going to get a bit sore down there. That's what I was thinking.
Even if it's the beach or whatever you choose to put in the VR headset.
You're still going to get your teats pulled. That's the thing.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. Okay, over to you. Hollywood Machine, producer to the stars.
Are you a collector of any art? Like any nice paintings by someone would know, I've got the copy Mona Lisa in the house.
You've got the Mona Lisa?
Well, I bought it opposite where the real one is in Paris. So there's, on the corner shop they were just selling replicas. So I made it look like the one. Who knows? I mean, it's the same picture, isn't it?
It's the same picture. No, I get that absolutely.
Fair enough.
But this is actually classed as art. It's Maurizio Catalani was responsible for the solid gold toilet in Blenheim Palace. You know that one?
I remember that.
You know what he's done? He's gaffer taped a banana to a wall. Have you seen this?
I saw it, and I also saw the man go up and take the banana off the wall and eat the banana. And nobody was concerned. They just got another banana.
But do you know how much that sold for?
And stuck the banana. You just ate the banana.
No, but the actual painting's been sold for $150,000 in Miami.
But you do know in 3 days it'll be black.
No, but there is a certificate with it saying whoever buys it has to change the banana every few days.
It's going to cost you more in the long run.
How pointless is that? Because the gaffer tape's not the same because you have to replace that, and the banana's not the same. So
what if you run out of bananas 1 week as well?
But that's it, and you can buy it. You've just bought it from the shop, but someone has actually paid money for it. This is the third one. 2 of them being sold, and the third one's up to $150,000. Does that make any sense to you?
Well, I remember
I could do one in the house myself.
There was one gallery that sold bricks. And they were just loose bricks. They weren't even in the shape of a house, but they weren't cemented together. And that went for millions.
I know.
And then there was the other one that was a public toilet on the wall, and they used that until somebody decided to wee in it.
Did you see there was also a bed with mess around it, and that went for one as well?
You just got up.
It just
and that's art.
I mean, I could if you like that, you could just do your own, really. But how
You could just
strange.
walk into any gallery in the northeast with a skateboard, prop it up against the wall, walk away, and see how long before people start getting around it and taking photos.
Well, someone
of it.
dropped their glasses and they fell near the wall, and people were looking at it going, "Oh, isn't that great?" And it was just someone's glasses that fell out of their pocket.
There you are. It's pretentious,
How
isn't it? Do
strange.
you not
But
think it's a
someone
bit-
paid good money for that? I
like
wish I
art,
could
but-
sell that.
Yeah.
I kind of go around galleries. Look, I don't know what to say and do, and you just
The
look
Mona
at it. and you go,
Lisa's
"All right."
amazing, though. You know, like
Oh, something
stuff
like that. Yeah, yeah.
But
Do you think so? I saw it in the Louvre.
well, it's actually not impressive when you go because it's tiny.
It is, but that's what I was going to say.
And there's so many people.
There's
you
loads
can't
of
get to
people
the front.
queuing it, and I couldn't believe that was actually it. Now, and it's that. And the other thing is,
Glass is about that thick as
in
well.
in Rome, you know the ceiling that Michelangelo painted.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a huge picture on a ceiling. The actual picture, you know, the picture of the guy lying down,
Yeah.
touching fingers with God, and it's one of the most favourite like artistic images. It's tiny. It's about the size of a suitcase, and it's 50 foot up, and you can't hardly see it. So, Nighters, if you want to talk art, we've obviously got our fingers on the pulse, and we're taking your calls again, and a competition or two after this.
Alan Robson's Night Owls.
The phone-in that gets you talking.
Greatest hits radio.
And don't forget, it is going to be another Chris Rea song, Driving Home for Christmas, you're going to listen out to if you would like to win something rather nice. And if it's not for your taste, you give it away as a present at Christmas. And we can also say that Omar has sent a picture of the Mona Lisa when he visited, and he's got a picture of the whole room full of people. A lot of stuff coming in. Daniel of Plawsworth is now living in Horden in Peterlee. He says, I wouldn't like to be the boss of a woman with a period. I think things like periods, colds and flu should all be left in the house for hygienic purposes. We can't argue with that. And on the same tack, James, if women are asking for free sanitary products, shouldn't we all be supplied with free sanitary products? Razors and toilet paper. And also, the nastiest thing I ever saw, Alan, was another Michael Bublé album at Christmas, which begs the question, what does Michael Bublé do for the rest of the year? Cracking show, Alan. Thumbs up. Thank you very much. James, we appreciate that. Anyway, let's crack on. I've got a third clue for you for our overall competition where you get the Jumanji rucksack. You get a bed, like a roll-up camp bed, and you also get a Jumanji cap. So if you would like all of that with your Night Owl's Greatest Hits mug, that is for the end of the show. Here's your first 3 clues. You get your 4th clue in about 20 minutes. Clue number 1. When you go to sleep and imagine adventures, this is what you're doing. Second clue. Magicians often say, pick any this, from a deck of those. Pick a what, though? Third clue. The story of an otter in a movie was called The Something of Bright Water. Okay? I tell a lie. I've just given you the answer there, I think, of part of it. Oh, dear. Right. The third clue is the story of an otter in a movie was called The Ring of What Water? Okay, pretend you didn't hear. The Ring of What Water? Right. And you've now got one more clue to come. All of the things that you've got so far are lyrics from a famous Christmas song. You've got to work out the name of the Christmas song from the lyrics. Okay, 3 down, 1 more to go. And we've got Anne from West Denton next. Hi, Anne.
Oh, hello. What a job with the phone. It was my phone. They must keep restricting this and just got us back on another line.
Oh, well, that's great. Well done. So, how are you doing? You all right?
Oh, yes. Apart from my shoulder, I nearly fell down the stairs, getting my washing done in the house.
Right.
But, no, but I'm going to play well with my son because I was asking everybody when it's coming on and everybody was depressing. You know, I couldn't find out online and nothing.
Right.
When they were coming back.
Right,
I'll tell him off when he comes up.
I should think so as well. We've been back a while now. It's almost about 4 or 5 months now, so...
Ah, well, I'm pleased tonight. It's just about 2 subjects, Alan.
Okay.
Are we parcels, is all your staff team still the same to send me Christmas cards and that?
It is, yes. Yes, you send them in the same place, that's right.
Oh, I've got 2 subjects. It's about I'm not going on about this again, but 5 years since I had the accident, but I thought I sent this last letter for a closure, and it says I had the response to us because they're going to make safer roads a black spot, and this going through Parliament was 2017.
Whoa, right.
So I've got my point over, wrote a letter that says it's maximum for injuring people, and 14 years to life. That's going through Parliament, so I've got closure on that. I've done my duty, 3 letters, so that's the finish for that one.
Good.
So I'm pleased about that, because a little lad being killed coming from school with some scum drivers, being in the paper, 12-year-old, went into school children, I think it was Essex, so he should be chucked in, throw away the key.
Right.
For doing that, it's killed that little lad, 12-year-old, so...
Terrible.
Was on the news.
Yes, it was.
You're talking about Natural Health Service, about it's going to the pot, Alan?
It is, absolutely.
Because now I have to pay, listen to this, Alan, I have to pay £60 a year to get my tablets delivered.
Right.
And because I don't do the app and I don't do the online, some older people don't do it.
Sure.
And so it's strange if they do that, they get delivered anyway. So,
but I've been watching on the television. They're always saying just get in touch with us and it's delivered free. Why is it costing you £60?
Because I don't go out much, but it's not the point. And what about people who are bedridden and haven't got no carers? How do they get the tablets? They still have to deliver them, haven't they? And so I put me £5 on each month for a certain company.
Right.
And it was restricted 3 times. I couldn't get my card through. I had money on. So I says, 3 days it took. So I went back to the chemist. It took us loads of money back and forth, doctors and the chemist. Reception was good at the doctor's leg. But I says, well, when I paid me £5 after... I phoned up the chemist, I don't mention no names. They says, oh, no, I'm sorry, we can't have them because you haven't got your money.
What?
They listened to the night owl, so I didn't get my tablets because I was short. But and then the receptionist must have phoned and says, she wants her tablets, she needs the tablets because I've missed a few. And all this is, we can't have them on Wednesday because the drivers will finish at 8 o'clock. So I left it at that. The next minute there was a knock on the door and they delivered me tablets. So Alan, if you don't pay in front, I have to order all my tablets to the doctors, you know. I shouldn't have to do that. So some people cannot be bothered. So
no, but on top of it, they tell you that they're not going to deliver them, and then you could have gone out, but then the next thing is they're at the front door. That doesn't make any sense, does it?
I know. And another thing, Alan, before I go, because I'm busy, it's going through where I think the doctors don't want people to come down to home visits.
Right. No, I believe that's the case. Well, they don't even want people to go into the surgery. They want you to ring in so that they could talk over what's the matter with you and then say, well, I'll tell you what, I'll leave a prescription for you at the desk. And you're thinking, well, you don't want to check. You don't want to have a look. You know, you're going to diagnose me over the phone. I mean, because to me, that's a bit risky.
No, I don't believe in that. I hope my doctor comes down because I get my bloods like you, if you're diabetic.
Yeah.
I hope she doesn't, because I've known my doctors are good at West Denton, like.
Good.
So,
let's hope they stay that way. Absolutely.
Yes, good. And then another thing before I go, I had like a blister on my foot, like a little bleed, but I'm just like you.
Right.
And I was in agony for 3 days once on the sole of your foot, Alan. And I had this doctor come out from the surgery, the other one. Oh, she says, you have to buy your pressure pad for it, so I paid 18 pounds for some.
What?
Aye. And then another thing, when my hand was small, I had to buy a bandage. And so I had to wait for a carpenter because I get my feet done. And she made it all went away in 3 weeks. She'd done a lovely job from the surgery and put a proper bandage on. It's better now.
Right, good.
And so I was suffering for 3 bloody weeks. You have to pay for everything now, you know, Alan.
That's the thing. No, I've seen it. It's an expensive business.
But I was just annoyed because older people, they can't do the internet, and if they've got nobody to pick the tablets up, what they're going to do. But it's disgusting up the chemist up the top. I never mentioned name, didn't I?
No, you didn't.
So thanks very much, Alan,
no
for
worries.
letting us speak.
Good to hear from you again. Thanks, Anne.
Good night.
Take care. Bye-bye. Now, talking about passion. What's Chris Rea's passion then? I know how passionate you are about, not just about the North, but about the things in your life that you hold dear, and they're very specific. And you're not a one who takes fools gladly. I've learned that. My first interview with you was a nightmare years ago. I'll tell you, it was a bloody nightmare.
I've just had one of them.
You've had another one?
Some bugger from Stoke.
Right.
He asked me who wrote my songs.
Gonna say, should have hit him with that guitar. Poof.
Yeah, if I'd have been in the same room, I would have.
Cheeky beggar. But anyway, I know how passionate you are. I know how much you love the art of what you do too. I would have thought you'd look over your shoulder and be hugely proud of what you've achieved, because, to be honest, if you looked at, here's a young lad from Teesside, and let's face it, Teesside's not the home of rock and roll. It's not the Nashville of the North, is it? And yet you've achieved all of these amazing things, the movies, all the stuff you've done. It's been incredible.
You know, trying to sing a song about the transporter is not as... It's not as globally poetic as I took a ride past the New Jersey Turnpike. You know what I mean?
I get it. I get it, absolutely. You are with the big one, Alan Robson, on Greatest Hits Radio, and keeping your Christmas night nice and neat and tidy. Okay, Daryl from South Shields, the first one in. Hi, Daryl.
Hiya, how are you?
I'm very well. Question is, John Barrowman played a character in a Doctor Who spin-off. What character did he play?
Captain Jack Harkness.
Captain Jack Harkness, he did. You've just won John Barrowman's album, A Fabulous Christmas. And on top of that, I'm throwing in a deluxe edition of Jack Savaretti's double CD, including his new Christmas song, Christmas Morning. And he's on here with Sigma and a load of Kylie Minogue, Mika, a load of stars. So, double CD and John Barrowman, you got them both. Congratulations,
Wow.
Daryl. 1 out of 1. Well done.
Indeed.
Hey, not a problem. Stay on the line. Merry Christmas. All the best, man.
You, mate. Take care.
And you, mate. Bye-bye. How nice is that? We got it in one. Sorry to the 30-odd other people that were desperately trying to get through. If you know the answer, you got it, man. And Jack Harkness it was. And John Barrowman, we will be talking to him soon, too. We've also got, don't forget, Roy Wood next week. However, let's crack on. Let's see who's out there in the dark. It's Matthew from Newcastle. Hello, Matthew.
All right, Alan, I haven't spoken to you for a while. Have you been, mate?
No, I've been missing you. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm going with Ian on Wednesday to buy a DB radio so I listen tonight. I will over Christmas.
Oh, that's excellent. That's good news.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Been playing computer games and that.
Yeah.
Been playing computer games. I'm not here on too long, I promise.
So it's okay. So what you been playing? The new Call of Duty?
I've been playing the new Call of Duty, yeah. Been playing that, Alan. Been enjoying it. It's pretty good fun.
Is it one of the better ones? Because some of them have been really good. Some of them have just kind of been all right.
It's been most of the good ones. Because it's got like a blackout mode in it now. Like it's like a Royale mode shooty thing.
Oh, I see, right. So like night vision kind of thing.
You like night vision, yep.
Ooh.
It's a pretty good Call of Duty. I like it.
That sounds good. Sounds the business, right?
It's a good game. You know what I mean? It took me hours to download it for the patch, for the update, but I did it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yep. I'm just saying. I've been listening to the show. I've been finding it very funny.
Very good. I'm glad you've been with me. That's
amazing. On the night, it makes me laugh.
Good. That's what we're trying to do.
Yep.
Brilliant.
I hope we get more days.
Well, we're fighting for it. We'll do the best we can.
Yep. Three more things. Did you see Jamie Corbyn on telly talking about Boris Johnson with the letters? He had letters in his hand.
Yeah, we can't talk about the politics side of things just because we're coming up to an election and we want everybody to have a fair crack at the whip. That's right. Yep. No problem.
Is it Friday, the thingy?
I think is it not Thursday? It might be Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday or Friday, the 12th, isn't it?
I've been watching The Jungle. It's been pretty good. Pretty good programme.
Did the right person win, do you think, or not?
I think so. Right. I think the right woman won. She used to be in EastEnders, playing Lauren Brannan in EastEnders, so she's a great actress.
Right, okay, that's good.
Yep.
Nice.
Three more things. I'm saying the weather has been it's been lovely lately, hasn't it? It's sunny most of the time, and then it was raining this morning. Mm-hmm. I'm saying, raining.
Really strong winds today, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, lucky it hasn't blown the radio off the sick. I'll be upset. I'm saying Ian made me laugh, Alan. I was listening to Elvis lay me down. He's looking and saying, what are you trying to say? I said, I'm trying to sing. He's funny. He's funny. He'll probably be asleep now. He'll probably be asleep. With him, I'll say.
You never know.
You see that, Matthew, on the radio again?
Hey, well, you're a star. That's why everybody waits up to hear from you, Matthew.
I am a star. I'll do some shout-outs in 2 or 3 more things.
Go on.
Shout out to Mary and Jimmy. Shout out to Jean from Edison. Linda from Barrowshead. Steph, Dee, my sister, and Stewie and Deborah. What can I go in that for, Alan?
You can't go in the hat, but we've had 3 competitions so far. We've got the 4th one to come, and that's for all the Jumanji stuff.
Okay. I'll be quick as I can.
Okay.
I bought another game last week. I bought a game called Left 4 Dead 2, where you play as like zombies. You play as like 3 people, and you kill zombies and that.
All right, good.
Yep. Okay. The first mission, you've got to go and get the man beer. It's kind of funny, zombies running at you and keep kicking you and that, and I thought, oh, well, the zombies kicking us in the heat. But it is, because, Xbox One's now got Xbox 360 back compatibility, where you play, like, the old games and that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, how backward compatible works, like, if it's the same game, if the game's on the catalogue available, you'd be like, play it, you know what I mean, on the list.
Sure.
Yeah. But it is a pretty good game, you know what I mean?
Good.
They added the King Kong game from the movie to the backward compatibility, and then added the 2 Dead Rising games, Case West and Case Zero, and I was really happy. I downloaded them both on my Xbox.
Good.
I said to Ian, do you think I can beat this game in 24 hours? He said, I bet you can.
I bet you can too.
A shout out to Ian. Hello, bud. See you Wednesday.
That's great. That's it, Matthew. Thank you.
Can you put it on the YouTube, Alan?
We'll make sure that happens for you. All the best. Take care, mate. Bye-bye. So there he is. Matthew from Newcastle is back. And we've got Alison, who is in currently Anfield playing. Hello, Alison.
Hi there, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm all right, darling. Thank you kindly. What are you up to?
Decorating.
Oh, really? Oh.
At like this time of the morning.
So how much more you got to do? Because I know everybody, we've got to get finished by Christmas. It cannot be half done. So you've got to kind of battle through once you've started. How much you got to do then, Alison?
Well, it's a bit of a story. We weren't intending on decorating, and nothing was. I had all my decorations up and everything. It was all ready for Christmas.
Right.
And then we went out shopping, and we ended up in a fish tank shop. We've got a fish tank at the moment.
Right.
But we found this lovely fish tank, and it kind of matches the room and everything. So we thought, let's have it for Christmas, like for both of us. That's our Christmas present.
Right.
So I bought this fish tank and then come home, and when I got home I thought, when we get that fish tank in, we're not going to be able to decorate around it. And I've been fancying a new carpet, and like when we get the fish tank in, how we're going to get a new carpet in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it kind of escalated from 2 days ago not decorating at all to literally we've got the whole, because when I got one carpet, I've got to get the living room, the dining room, and the stairs all the same, because they all kind of match on. So it's gone from decorating nothing to decorating the whole house.
But it's also gone from, can we really afford that expensive fish tank? Or we could push it a little bit, and now all of a sudden you've got to have the house to match the fish tank. Was it really that important?
Oh, it's lovely.
It's gonna have
really
to be.
Nice.
Have you got any fish in it yet? Or you wait until you get it all kind of?
No, we've actually got a fish tank at the minute.
Right.
But it's just the one we've got at the minute, I think, is something like 75 litres, so it is quite a big tank.
Yeah.
But we introduced about 3 weeks ago, we introduced a whole load of guppies in there, and they are breeding like wildfire. We've got loads of babies.
Right.
So we just thought, we've always wanted a bigger tank. So we thought, well, might as well just get a bigger tank.
I tell you what, if you've got like 1,000 guppies, what better than to give them room so you can have 10,000 guppies? That would make sense.
I've got a funny feeling that might happen.
I've got a sneaky suspicion too. Oh dear.
But we're getting rather friendly with the guy in the fish shop now. So
I can see that. I made a mistake once because I used to have a couple of fish tanks, and ultimately they were in the bedroom and they were. And I was up for a wee about every 20 minutes with the noise of it, but so they had to go. But when I was at my fish enthusiastic height, I did something really bad. This fish was heavily pregnant, and I went to the shop and I said, "Look, the such and such a fish." Really pregnant. He says, you've got to get her out of the tank, put her in one of those plastic tanks you just hang on the surface to separate them from... a separate tank so that the other fish can't eat the babies when they pop out. So I says, okay, I can do that. So this fish gave birth to about 400 babies. I mean, it was like she was in a small box with one of those sweets you used to get as a pudding at school years ago, little and then all of a sudden they're coming to life and they're moving about, and I'm thinking, I've got to get it out the tank. I cannot leave it there because they haven't got much room. So I got a large soup dish and I poured them all into the soup dish, and then I've got a real conscience about this. Because I'm not
going to like this.
You're not going to like it. I was hoovering and completely forgot that the soup dish was on the floor.
Oh no!
Hit the soup dish. Soup dish turns over into a fairly thick piled carpet. And I couldn't even see them, but they were all in the carpet, and the carpet's alive. It's So I'm thinking, well, how do I get them out? And I'm thinking, I'll get a knife, and I used the flat side of the knife, and you pull it along the surface of the carpet, and nothing was happening. The liquid was coming up, and I was moving the liquid, but the little things were still in there. And I'm thinking, I cannot leave like 400 baby fish in the carpet. At some point, they'll die and stink. I hoovered them up. What could I do? It was about 20 minutes. They must have been dead by. It was all just wrong. And I have a baby fish conscience, and I have had ever since.
Did that turn you off keeping fish?
Yeah, kind of. And I couldn't get enthusiastic about it anymore. And then every time I looked in the tank, I'm seeing her in a little separation, thinking, he'll show me babies today. And I'm going, not really. And if she saw it, because she could have seen it.
Most of the time they eat them, so...
Well, I know, but she could have watched me. She could have been at the window, looking down, thinking, me Benz, in fish talk, which was probably like, something like that. Who knows?
Well, we had a bit of an awful situation because we got some what they call convicts.
What's that?
Like, they're just types of fish,
right.
But they're called convicts, obviously, for a reason. And they went in. This was before, like, we changed it all and literally ate everything in the tank.
Oh, no.
So we were left with these, I think we had 5 of them. We ended up having to take them back to the shop where we got them.
Right.
And that's how we've ended up with all these guppies and, little tetras and nice little fish that swim about now rather than these big black convicts that just eat everything.
Well, I did have a if you call them convicts. I don't know what it begins with a letter C, and I can't remember the name of it. But the fish shop that we trust with everything put this fish in the wrong colour tank. You get
right.
These fish have got to be on their own. Like these fish are mixed fish, and the ones in the middle, well, it could go either way. So you stick to the ones on the extremities and you community tank fish.
Yes, that's it, yeah.
So I got this sea fish, and I can't remember the name of the fish, but it was grey and it had red markings on it that seemed to almost change colour at times. It was a beautiful looking fish, and I thought, I'll get one of them. And then I'd go to work and I'd come back and I'd be thinking, where are all the little tiny catfish from the bottom of the tank? And then where's the guppies gone? We used to have a lot of guppies in there. And then before you know it, you just got one big fat fish, and it had just been eating its way around the tank. Oh, it's awful when that.
Just tiny. I like it more when there's lots of little ones and there's lots of movement and lots of like kind of things happening rather than like one big.
Oh no, I can't get a hold of that at all. That's just dull. Plecostromus, quite like. You ever had plex that suck the?
Yes, we've got a couple of plex in there. We've got shrimps in there as well.
Oh, that's brilliant. And they don't get eaten by the. I always thought that if the fish had a mouth big enough to eat it, they would. No?
Well, the shrimps are about an inch and a half, so they're quite big, and they just run around the bottom of the tank. They're really cool because they keep it all clean, and then the plex keep the outside.
The window clean, yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So they're gonna come next week. They're gonna be like
in their new
holiday.
I was going to say, it'd be brilliant for them.
They're getting this huge tank.
And you'll be putting new rocks and wood and weeds and all that kind of thing in.
Well, what we did was because you've got to be quite careful because this takes some time to set up.
Right.
So they've basically said to us, because we're going from we've got 75 litres in this, the one we're getting I think is 175, so it's going to be quite a bit bigger.
Sure.
But the plants and that we've got to go into the new one are in the old one now.
Right. Oh, I see.
So,
right.
And the filter wool that's going into the new one is in the old one now, so it just speeds up the transfer a bit.
Right.
So when they get transferred over, they'll get transferred over in the water that they're currently in.
But you'll know yourself that as soon as you get it, you see, well, that's for a smaller tank, or we need some more of this and we need some more of that. Because that's the nature of the beast, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
You build it slow.
No, we were in the shop and we were literally, because it's on I've got all oak furniture, so it's on an oak base, but it's got an oak pelmet around it as well.
Right.
And we were in the shop with the different plants, putting them in the tank in the shop to see what it looks like. It's probably the whole room is designed now around this tank.
Right, my goodness. Hey, well, let's hope it looks amazing and keep your decorating going. Thank you, Alison. Lovely talking to you, darling.
Okay, speak to you soon, Alan.
Thanks for sharing. Take care. Right, I'm going to give you a fourth clue now. This is for our ultimate competition. When you go to sleep and imagine adventures, this is what you're doing. That's your first word. Second word, magicians often say, pick a this, any this, from a deck of those. Pick a what, though? Third clue, the story of an otter was called The Ring of What Water. The Ring of What Water. And the fourth clue, the Stripes, who had a 7-nation army. What word is missing? There's something Stripes, who had a 7-nation army. You've got 4 words from one of the all-time great Christmas songs. Name the Christmas song. Ring right now. 0191 488 3188.